Welcome to the show.
Where we talk about everything, everywhere, with anyone, at any time, with you.
And today's topic happens to be the hidden truth of the digital nomad lifestyle. Because, well, we've been living in Bali for a year and a half already.
Yeah.
And then we check Instagram every day. And then we realize, there's a lot of, travelers or influencers, they portray this digital nomad lifestyle, which is, we see their lives on camera and then we see our lives, and we happen to have a very big community here. And we talk about a lot of our daily lives with other digital nomads in Bali, and we realize actually it's not true what they're portraying on Instagram, right?
I don't even think that they are trying to portray something fake.
Yeah.
But it just happens to be that way, and because this whole digital nomad thing is a new phenomenon, and it's uprising. It's like
uprising, but it became a buzzword already.
Yeah,
right?
It's already a buzzword, but people are looking at it, or digital nomads on Instagram or on YouTube, and they're going, wow, I want that life. How can I be a digital nomad? But it's you got to remember that on social media in general, if you had a 9-to-5 normal life and a 9-to-5 job, you would also be only sharing the highlights. And people generally do that. They show their nice barbecue on the weekend, they show going to the park or going to the zoo, the nice things. And the digital nomads here do exactly the same. The waterfall trips, the coconuts on the beach, the sunset every night,
Yeah.
But those are just little snippets.
Yeah.
Actually, half the time, they are struggling trying to find a co-working space or a cafe with good Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
It's completely different, to what you see online. People are not sitting at the beach with a coconut and a laptop.
Yeah, not at all. I mean, the beaches are there.
Wait, what did he just say?
The beaches are there. The beaches are there. It's very convenient to go there, but we're not doing that every day.
No.
Because most people, we are working. Because actually, what is a digital nomad per se? It really is, you're a nomad. By nomad, it means you're moving from place to place, and then digital means you're working with a digital tool, which means that you are working online.
Yeah.
So digital nomad basically is a fancy word of saying remote workers. And I think when you are remote, there are a lot of things that you have to get used to. It's actually the nice things you see, from the influencers' shorts or YouTube videos, they are nice. But on the other hand, that's only 5% of your daily life as a digital nomad or remote worker. But 95% of the time, you're actually working and then dealing with your daily struggles. And when you're outside your comfort zone, like your hometown, your home country, and then there are a lot of things you have to deal with that you are not even familiar with. Sometimes you don't even know how to deal with them. And then you become very vulnerable and you need help. So that is why even for digital nomads, a community is really important. So the hidden truth about the digital nomad, the first one is, it's not what you see on Instagram or in the YouTube videos, right?
And also I think that people tend to think that it's a very luxurious kind of easy life. And I think a lot of the digital nomads do struggle with a lot of things, people are lonely. There's a lot more admin that you got to do, just to live, you've got to make sure you have the visa and that you don't overstay your visa. You got to go to visa appointments. There's a lot of things that need to be done just to make sure that you can stay in that certain place.
By the way, I don't do my visa at all. She does all the visa jobs. Because for me, I need to focus on work a lot of times, and then the visa stuff just has such a distraction for me. And then I'm glad that she can help me. But for a lot of people traveling solo, I think even getting the right visa information and finding the right visa agent and then getting the visa done and also keeping everything up to date is such a hassle, right?
Yeah, it's really it's a lot of admin that goes into it. And I think on your normal day-to-day life, if you were at home just working a regular job, you wouldn't have these extra things you got to pay rent, but we also got to pay rent. But also things are a lot more expensive here because, when you're living the digital nomad life, not necessarily here in Bali, but I think in general you're kind of paying a higher price because the locals look at you as a kind of tourist,
Yeah.
and you're just like, hey, I actually want a monthly like rental. I don't want to pay ridiculous prices on
Yeah.
Airbnb, etc.
Yeah.
So it's like finding a good accommodation that's clean and nice and affordable, and then also like eating as well. Like that's, I don't know, I feel it's a funny thing to talk about. Like I struggle to find food to eat, but
Yeah,
it's
me
not
too,
easy.
actually.
It's
Yeah.
not like you don't want to spend every day in a cafe
Yeah.
eating food, and also it gets boring. Like
Yeah.
first world struggles.
No, but it's true actually. First of all, I think we eat a lot of local food.
Yeah.
And then the thing about the regular food is that you don't know the quality actually, especially the oil, because a lot of regular restaurants, they just use seed oil.
Yeah.
And especially before we came here, we were eating extremely clean, right?
Yeah.
Olive oil and cooking at home all the time. And then a lot of times when we go out, actually the local food is really nice.
So tasty.
But after you eat them, and then if they use bad oil, I can instantly feel, like my body feels heavy, and I just instantly don't have energy. I just don't know what to do, and the miserable feeling will continue for like a couple of hours, and then
Yeah.
And so when you are traveling around or you are living in a place that not permanently, or then when you need to cook, it's really hard. For example, now we lived in like this is our fourth place, and now we really have a kitchen. But before, like we lived in Bali before this place, it was like for a year already, right?
Yeah.
And then we couldn't even cook properly. So can you imagine that struggle, especially in terms of your health, right? What do you put into your body? You cannot overcome, and this is something that you really have to put into consideration as well. Yeah.
Yeah, that's, I mean, among a couple of other like struggles as well, like finding a comfortable work spot.
Yeah.
Like because a place like Bali, and I'm sure there are like other places like this as well, like other countries where the co-working spaces want to make money off
Yeah.
the digital nomads. And yes, it's great to have a space to go to, but it is kind of overpriced.
It is always overpriced, in my opinion, because the thing is, that's why in our community we normally find new spots
Yeah.
or regular spots that they will give us discounts, and
Yeah.
then we bring everybody together to go there to co-work together, and then so basically the co-working meetups,
Yeah.
basically that if you want to work, you can focus, but if you want to take a break and you want to socialize, there are other people taking a break as well, so you can basically mingle a little bit. But the thing is, like, if you go to certain co-working spaces, they're charging you the Western prices,
Yeah.
but for Bali standard in some ways. So I think it defeats the purpose of coming to Bali to
Yeah.
live a cheaper life, right?
Well, yeah, I think the standard of the co-working spaces are good. Like you obviously get a proper chair, you get a proper desk, you can move the desk
Yeah.
up and down. It is much better than working at a cafe.
But not tribal though.
Yeah, true. But I just think that like you gotta piece them all together. Like gyms are expensive. It's hard to find a monthly accommodation,
Yeah.
and then you're paying for the co-working space. Then are you actually really saving money or living like this
Yeah.
cheap lifestyle? That once again was portrayed online, that like we are living this fantastic paradise life
Yeah.
for so cheap. And actually, if you like break it all down, they really are hidden truths, because it ain't like that.
Yeah.
It ain't a perfect picture.
I mean, like the accommodation is not cheaper at most places. They're just regular price.
Yeah.
And the food, if you want to eat something, healthy, and then you're paying a Western price as well.
Yeah.
And on top of all that, there's a very big cost. Is actually the monthly visa cost.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. That's why I said, besides all the admin as well, like all
Yeah.
of these costs just add up.
Yeah.
And yeah, I guess I feel like it really is a hidden truth about being a digital nomad, because people think that we just grabbed our backpack, hopped on a plane,
Yeah.
opened our laptop in a new destination, and voila, I'm a digital nomad.
Yeah, I mean, like if you're just like going for some kind of a short-term fun, it is like that. Let's say that you live outside your country, and like from place to place for more than 3 months, and then you really see the reality of this whole thing. And also, when you're outside of the environment that you're familiar with, then you're literally stepping out your comfort zone, and then social life, actually the real connection between people becomes extremely important, and you will feel lonely, and then you will find people that come and go all the time, and then you don't know what to do. And actually, even in the beginning when we came to Bali, we realized actually, hey, this is kind of like a mind fuck, right? Like, I just became friends with you, and all of a sudden you're going somewhere else, and I was, what the fuck, like, I thought we were friends,
Yeah. They always say like, oh, I'll see you somewhere in the world, and you're just like,
yes,
I don't know, over those, generally people are here like 2 months. Over those 2 months, you really do a lot of things together. It's dinners, it's trips, it's this, it's that. You're working together, and it's really great. And it's just like, this is my best friend,
Yeah.
And then the best friend's just like, bye, I'm going to Thailand.
No!
No, you're not allowed.
Yeah.
I've started telling people now, like, hey, I've already called immigration. They're not letting you out of Bali. They're just, you're going to give your passport, and they'll be like, no, Logan said you got to stay.
Yeah, even now, like, to be honest with you, we got used to it, but still there's a weird feeling that when you really, build a relationship with somebody, that somewhere down the line you will meet them eventually.
Yeah.
But it's still like they're going away, and you just feel like you're losing something, at the meantime. But I guess that's where the community is really important.
Yeah.
And I think that's why Nomad has been a community for a lot of people, and the people really value it.
Yeah.
It's just because, hey, even though people come and go, and then when you have a community here and you realize, hey, if in the future that I go back to Bali, this is the place that I can go back to. It's a comfort. I think I think people should take it for granted, because it's just like home. When you go back home, hey, you knock on the door, your mom's gonna open the door, right?
Yeah.
I think this is a kind of a security in some ways, and the comfort that everybody should have.
I think that's what some people have now, like that we met, I think, in our first 6 months here.
Yeah.
They've left and carried on with their lives at home or in other countries, and they've come back to Bali, and we've just kind of like picked up where we left off.
Yeah.
Which is really like lovely. It's awesome. But
friend, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, friend came back all of a sudden. I thought he was in South Africa, and then bam, he's here. I was like, oh shit.
Ezra as well, like, just like, he was like, I'm on a plane, I'm coming back, and I was like, oh, and then when they arrived here, it's like, oh my word, it feels like you never left.
Yeah.
But there was like this massive 8-month gap between, I could have had a baby.
Well, yeah, you could. Maybe you should. Yeah, I mean, like, these are just a couple of the hidden truths about the digital nomad lifestyle that we feel nobody talks about.
Nobody ever talks about that.
Yeah.
But also, there's also we want to talk about the reason why Bali is a central place for digital nomad, and we will talk about in the next episode.
Yeah. See ya.
Yeah.
See ya!